Welcome, my name is Faye and I will be guiding you through this yoga flow today. So to begin, please join me seated on our mats. For today's flow, the theme will be rise, survive, and thrive. So meditate on those words and what they can represent for you in your life throughout this flow. Anytime you feel like it, you can take a child's pose, get a drink of water, and please have some straps and blocks near you for any modifications. So now that we're seated together in easy pose Sukhasana, let's calm the mind by closing our eyes, focusing on positivity, and relaxing into this present moment. This yoga practice is for self-expression, self-acceptance, and self-transformation. To initiate the yoga process, I'll guide you through a deep breathing technique called Ujjayi Pranayama. Inhale slowly, let the belly expand, and exhale through the nose. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose, calming and balancing the energy. This is also referred to as ocean breath because you can hear the sound of an ocean as you exhale. Let's warm and awaken the entire body as we continue to breathe. And stay connected to our breath throughout this entire flow. We can take a moment for deep inner reflection, and today I'm also joined by my mother Violet, who will be flowing with me. So let's take this moment again. We can close our eyes and we can bring our hands to prayer right in front of our heart center. Let's close our eyes, take a moment to reflect, and set your intention while I read you this quote. A bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking. Her trust is not in the branch, but in her own wings. Always believe in yourself. Inhale, exhale. Continue to practice your ocean breathing. Are we ready to begin our practice?
Yes.
Now that the body is warmed and awakened, let's transition to our first pose, child's pose. Beginning together on our hands and our knees, sit back on our heels, feet in plantar flexion. Widen the knees, have the big toes touching, and inhale, reach forward and stretch your arms forward. Keeping the heels and the keeping seated on your heels, and have your head or your forehead touching the mat. Feel this stretch throughout the entire body, your lower back, your thighs. Let's walk our hands to the left. Feel the stretch in our side body. Walk our hands forward. And walk our hands to the right. Walk our hands back center. Stretch, press through the fingertips, and send those hips all the way back and down. Continue breathing here. Now we can lift up, pressing through our fingertips, moving our hands back, hands underneath the shoulders, back to neutral spine. And now we will do cat and cow stretches. With beginning in neutral spine, let's inhale, pulling our belly up towards our spine, tuck our chin, release the neck, and push the mat and ground away from us. This is cat pose. Exhale, lower the belly, tuck the tailbone, chest up and heart open, head up and look up. This is cow pose. Let's continue to flow at our own pace, inhaling and exhaling, cat and cow. One more. And release. For our melting heart pose, which is a restorative back bend and is preparing us for our peak postures, we begin by in neutral position in tabletop, and we lower onto our elbows, hips stay in line with the knees, arms straight out in front of you, forehead. We can move a little bit back on our mat so our arms can be on our mat. And our forehead and chest are gently lower to the mat. We can enjoy a few breaths here, melting into this pose. How does this pose feel?
It feels great.
Our heart is melting into the earth.
Yes, I can feel it.
When we're ready, we can press back up, and we can lower our hips to meet our heels as we transition back to child pose. Widen the knees and just sink and melt deeper into this pose, opening up the hips. Let's push back up. We can enjoy the melting the heart pose one more time. So, position yourself in neutral tabletop. Hips stay in line with the knees, arms straight out in front of you, and we lower onto our elbows. Then our forehead and our chest melt into the mat. Breathe, relax, and meditate as you enjoy this pose. Let's push back up. Send our hips back. Widen the knees. Transition to child's pose one last time. As we transition, we push ourselves back up. Beautiful. From tabletop, we can send our hips up to downward dog. Look forward at your hands, lift up on your toes, and mindfully walk your feet forward to meet your hands at the top of your mat. Inhale to rise. And we can take a few cleansing breaths. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose, and exhale through the mouth. Once again, inhale through the nose, exhale, let it go. For our pathway to peak, we will be starting with 2 quarter sun salutations. In Tadasana, at the top of our mat, we begin by inhaling the beautiful energy up, out through our fingertips, looking up, enjoying the sun on our skin and the beautiful sky, and exhaling, swan dive down. Forward fold, then halfway lift with our back flat, looking forward and down. Forward fold again. Let's grab our elbows to deepen the stretch and just swing side to side, letting the head and the arms weigh you down and straighten out the entire back. Release the arms. Inhale, lift all the way up and raise our hands to the sky. Exhale, swan dive down. Forward fold. Halfway lift, back flat. Forward fold again. Grab those elbows. Let it weigh you down. Feel the stretch in the hamstrings. Release the hands. Inhale and rise. We can lower our hands back down to our side into Tadasana. Now we will begin our classical Surya Namaskara. In Tadasana, mountain pose. Upward salute. Inhaling, lifting our arms to the sky. Looking up. Exhale, swan dive forward, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhaling, lift the heart, halfway lift. Then exhaling our hands back down, forward fold. Let's frame our feet and step our right foot back to low lunge. Untuck the toes. Bring our hands to our hips for stability. Dynamic exploration of low lunge. So here, can rock back and forward, opening up our hips. Beautiful. To sink lower, we'll inhale our hands all the way up into the full expression of crescent low lunge. Exhale, our arms back, or hands back to our hips. Place our hands on the mat. With lifted up in runner's pose, we take our left leg back to plank to meet our right leg or our right foot. So right now we're in plank. Lower our hips, almost make a line with your head, your neck, your spine, and your legs. Lower down, lower those knees down. And then we lower our knees, chest, and chin. Ashtanga Pranam. Popping our elbows close to our body. And really feeling the stretch in our back. Send our feet back. The top of our feet pressing towards the mat. And we push up through the hands for Cobra. Inhaling, root the hands while lifting the shoulders and the elbows, shrugging them down and back. Cobra. Beautiful. Exhaling, press. Lift onto all fours. Then we move to downward facing dog. Take a few cleansing breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Let's lift our right leg. Bring it forward. Step it through the hands. Place our left leg down on our mat. Untuck the toes. For the Exploration of low lunge on the other side. We'll have our hands on our hips, rocking forward and back. Beautiful. So for crescent low lunge on this side, we'll inhale, sweep our arms up, and look up, and feel our hips opening as we deepen this beautiful stretch.
I see it.
Thank you. Finding stability again by placing our hands on our hips. We exhale, release the hands back to the floor. Lift up to runner's pose. Bring our right leg back to plank. Hold it for a few breaths. Strong plank, engaging the core. And push up to downward facing dog. Look up towards our hands. Lift up, lift our feet, or press our feet up like we're tippy-toeing, and mindfully walk our feet forward to meet our hands. Halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, upward salute, swan dive up, sweeping the arms overhead. And exhaling, lowering our arms down to our side. In mountain pose. We'll do classical Surya Namaskara one more time. Let's begin by upward salute. Inhale, look up. Exhale, all the way down, forward fold. Halfway lift. Inhaling, lifting the heart towards the horizon, the back flat. Exhale, back down. Framing our feet, we step our right leg back, lowered all the way down for our dynamic expression of low lunge. Placing our hands on our hips and rocking back and forward. Feeling those hips open up. Inhale, sweep our arms up towards the sky. And exhaling, back down to our hips, and then framing our feet. Framing our feet, we step our left leg back into a plank, Phalakasana, with our hips lowered, a little bit raised. Perfect. Knees, lower knees to the ground. And have our knees, chest, and chin lower down for Ashtanga Pranam. Send our feet back. Push up to Cobra. Push up to tabletop. Then downward facing dog. Lifting our right leg up. Stepping it forward. Placing our hands on our hips and enjoying a dynamic exploration of low lunge. Forward and back. Sweeping our hands up. Exhaling, releasing our hands back down. Placing our hands on the ground. Lifting up into runner's pose. Let's, this time, bring our left foot up to meet our right foot. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Forward fold one more time. Bend our knees slightly and upward salute. Lower our hands down to Tadasana. And let's take a few cleansing breaths to regenerate our energy. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. We'll begin one of our more challenging poses, eagle pose. Are you ready and excited?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
So for eagle, it's very important that we find our center of gravity, root through the ground, and focus on a spot in front of us and just balance and calm the mind. First, let's start by crossing send all of our weight to our left foot. Transfer our weight to our left foot. That's the foot that we'll be wrapping our other leg over. And let's inhale, prepare for this, and we can take our right leg and cross or wrap our thigh over our left leg, and our goal is to hook our right foot around our ankle. If we can't do that, we can start and grow this pose by using a block as our modification.
Thank you.
And this will accomplish the same type of stretch and get us more comfortable as we continue. Let's have our block stable so we can feel stable in this pose.
Thank you.
So in eagle, let's rooting through that left leg, lifting the right leg, and placing the thigh over the standing left leg. Beautiful. We can have our hands on our hips to feel that we're really leveling our pelvis. Then we bend our knees into this. We take our arms out straight and have the thighs over. That is the key. So we have our arms, we can point the palms up. We will take our right hand underneath our left, wrap it around, so like this. And we really try to feel the shoulders coming forward and intensifying the stretch as we straighten or as we stretch our arms or our hands outwards. And we can sink lower into this and keep our back straight. And enjoy this deep stretch, eagle pose. Wrap our arms, lift up, unwrap our legs. Now we can put our block to the other side to experience this pose on the other side of our leg. So we're rooting through, this time, the other leg, which is our right leg, sending our energy, our strong rooted energy towards that leg. We take our left leg, lift it up, cross it, have our thigh on top of the other thigh, place our foot on the block so that we can bend down into this, have a level pelvis, take our arms out straight, chest lifted, and this time take our left arm under our right arm for eagle pose. Just breathe, feel the stretch, and enjoy this beautiful posture. Untwist those hands, step the feet back. Let's experience this pose one more time. We could continue to use the block, or if we feel like we want to challenge ourselves this time, we can also remove the block and get those toes wrapped around the leg. Your choice, whatever feels good. So let's start with our leg rooted and standing on the ground is our left leg. Let's see. Okay. Having our arms, bring that right arm under the left. Beautiful. And release.
I did it too.
Awesome.
Kiss.
This pose connects to the quote that I read at the beginning of our practice, being a strong eagle and having the believing in ourselves and the strength of ourselves. So even if the branch underneath us breaks, we're still able to fly. Thank you. So this time we're on our right leg. We lift that left leg, swing it over, wrap those toes, do our best, challenge ourselves. Take those arms out. This time it's the left under the right. Beautiful. And release. That's a fun pose. Now we can take our blocks, move them off to the side. As we transition into Prasarita, wide-legged forward bend. I'm just going to do this and jump out this way.
Okay.
Which way would you like to do it?
I'll do it the same way you're doing it.
So, at the center of our mat, we take our hands up by our chest and hop out to a 5-point star, turning those toes inwards. Placing our hands by our lower back. Let me just move this up. Placing our hands by our lower back. Inhale, we create length, and exhale, fold forward, keeping our back straight. Then we lower our hands directly underneath our mat. Continuing to awaken the arches of the feet as we root through the big toe and press the outer edges of the feet. We're breathing into our hamstrings, improving our flexibility, and really feeling this stretch. To challenge ourselves, we can walk our hands back towards our heels and bring our head towards the ground. Feel this stretch and stay here for a few breaths. As we transition, we place our hands on our hips, belly button to the spine. Inhale, root and rise, keeping that back flat. Let's explore this again. By this time, we'll interlace our hands behind us. Inhale, create length, and exhale, come forward. Beautiful. Inhale, root and rise. Let's heel toe it back in. And stepping back on our mat, dusting off our mat a little. As we prepare for Warrior Two. We should face each other for this one.
Okay.
And I will mirror you.
Okay.
Begin with our hands up. Let's jump out to that 5-point star. And for Warrior Two, our feet are actually hip distance apart. So we can bring in our stance a little bit. We'll begin with our hands on our hips, and let's move our right leg straight, facing the edge of our mat, the back edge of our mat. And with our left foot, it's in 45-degree angle. We're bending the front knee, bringing the hip directly above our ankle, and we position our hips, ensure that both of your hips are open to the side of our mat. So that's why our hands are on our hips, so we could really feel that, and adjust our stance so we can really get into the right foundation for this pose. Inhale, bring our arms up, have these hips forward, or like towards the side. Yeah, so the goal with this one is to open up those hips.
Yeah.
Yes. We may need to adjust our stance so that our heels are in line with our other heel or the arch of our foot. Okay. Inhale, we lift those arms up. Exhale, bring them straight. We're bending and we're looking over our right hand. Warrior Two. Let's explore reverse warrior by
sweeping that front arm up, and the back arm down our leg. Strong warrior two. Inhale, back up. Now we move our feet to the other side of our mat. Have that front foot facing forward towards the edge, back foot in 45. Adjust the feet so that you can have your hands on your hips and your hips are facing towards the side of the mat. Bend that front leg. Inhale the arms up and exhale, release. Gazing over that left arm, strong, warrior two. Opening the chest, opening the heart, feeling like a strong warrior in this pose. We'll explore reverse warrior by bringing that back arm down, lifting the front arm up with our pinky coming towards our face. And our palms facing towards us. Our back leg remains to be strong and straight, and our front leg is bent. Inhale, come back to warrior two. We'll inhale our arms up. Bring our feet parallel. Exhale, our arms back to our hips. Let's heel toe it together. And we meet back at the top of our mat for pyramid. My favorite way to get into pyramid is by standing at the top of our mat with our feet together. We can take our right leg back about 3 feet apart from our front leg. So this one, we have our hips facing forward and both of our legs are straight. We can widen the stance to get into this and really feel both hips facing forward. Look at your feet, adjust them, make sure the back leg is turned in, make sure the legs are straight. And to go down into this, we can have our hands in prayer at our back, or we can grab our elbows. Make sure our shoulders are also facing forward and squared. Inhale, we create length. Exhale, let's go forward into pyramid. Going towards our front foot. Breathing and feeling this stretch. Inhale, root and rise. Release our hands. Step our back foot forward to meet our top or front foot. And take our left leg, step it back. About 3 feet back, having our hips and our shoulders square facing forward. We can widen our stance if we need to. Take our hands in prayer behind us or grab those elbows. This really opens up the chest, the heart. Inhale, we create length. Exhale, we bend forward towards that front foot. Breathe and experience this powerful pose. Inhale
then we rise.
Release those hands and step forward. We're going to explore another fun pose, one of my favorite poses, tree pose. For this one, we can come to the center of our mat. This is a standing balancing pose, so it's important to be able to find a place in front of us to focus on, to keep our balance. Let's take 3 cleansing breaths to re-energize for this pose. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Tree. So we'll root through the 4 corners of our left leg first, our standing leg. We can place our hands on our hips for stability. We bring our right leg, we place our, if we're here today, we bring our right leg as a kickstand, or we guide our leg all the way up to the inside of our upper thigh. Abducting the bent right leg to level the pelvis and draw the femur in on the left side. Once we feel strong in this pose and find our balance, we can place our hands up into prayer. Beautiful tree. Remember to avoid placing the foot on the knee. It's better to have it lowered down as a kickstand or all the way up, if that's where we're at today. We can challenge ourselves and lift our hands all the way up, sending the energy out to out through our fingertips. Lower hands back to heart center, hands to our hips, and we come out like we came in. Let's take a cleansing breath before we challenge ourselves and explore the other side. Inhale and exhale. Preparing for our other side, we send all of our energy to our opposite leg, our right standing leg. Have our hands on our hips for stability. We can have our foot as a kickstand here. The goal of this one is opening up those hips and getting the pelvis level. We can now guide our foot up to the inside of our thigh, pressing against it, finding stability and balance. Believing in ourselves. Lift our hands up. Lower hands back to heart center. Place our hands on our hips and come out like we came in. Beautiful. Take a cleansing breath. Let's explore one more time. We can challenge ourselves by standing on our block. If we want, we can even stand on the ground for more stability and do any of the modifications that feel good for you right now. We'll start on our left foot again, guiding our right foot up against our inner thigh. When we're ready, we can release by doing the same as going out the same way we came in. Let's do it on our other side. Rooting through the right leg, lifting our left leg up, pressing against our inner thigh. Having the hands on the hips for stability and to level the pelvis. When we're ready to transition out, we place our hands on our hips and go out the same way we came in. Beautiful tree. Now, are we ready for one of my most favorite poses of all? Goddess. To end our practice, goddess, or peak pose. For goddess, let's face this way and let's start at the center of our mat. Have our hands up by our chest, and we jump out to a 5-point star. Take our toes, point them out so they're slightly turned outwards. Have our hands up by our side. Bend our knees over our toes to get into that squat, that goddess squat position. Press our hips forward and press our knees back. Relax our shoulders down and our back and chest out. We bend those elbows and we stay in this beautiful goddess pose. We can imagine that there's a ball above us and we're lifting it up over our head. We lower down into the squat and we feel the energy come up through the earth go through our entire body and out through our fingertips as we rise, survive, and thrive in Goddess. Feel those thighs burn. One more breath, go lower. Feel strong and release. Bring yourself back up, legs straight, arms out to the sky. Lower our hands back down to our side, and we're going to do that again. The benefits of this pose are to open the hips, open the chest, while strengthening and toning the lower body. Are we ready for Goddess again?
Yes.
Goddess pose. Let's have those hands out, bending our elbows, and on the inhale, we bring that energy up through the earth, through our body, and exhale, send ourselves down to Goddess squat. Feeling strong in this pose and toning our entire body. Stay here for a couple of breaths. Inhale. We root and rise. Our hands up to the sky and our legs straight. Lower our hands down. And we're going to do this one last time. Let's take a cleansing breath. Hands out, bending those elbows. And then we go down into Goddess. Hold here for 10 more breaths.
6, 5,
3, 2, 1, let's come up. All the energy inside of us was building up and exploded out as strong goddesses. Whew, that feels good. Now we can heel toe it in and then shake our body. Cleansing breath. Release. Whew. For our integration, since we did so many hip openers and back bends, we will begin our integration on our mat. So let's lower down to our mat. Our first one we'll do is knees to chest. So we roll on our backs, have our feet, knees together, and we're just grabbing a little below the elbow on both sides and breathing deeply into this counter pose integration. Let's release our legs and lie, stretch your arms up over your head. 1 hour. Just wanted to check the time to know how long our Savasana should be. Savasana. Let's rock forward a few times. Yes.
we'll meet in easy Sukhasana. For our meditation today, I'll play the happy drum as you enjoy your luxurious Savasana. Any way you feel like it, you can be on your back. You could even be in easy Sukhasana with your hands in prayer. You can be on your stomach, facing down towards your mat. Please enjoy this Savasana and be proud of yourself for believing in yourself and doing your best throughout this entire practice and truly taking time for yourself to uplift your energy and enhance your overall wellness. Close your eyes in whatever Savasana you're in and enjoy. Namaste. Thank you for this gift. Namaste.